welcome back to my channel. Today we're having a Q&A video and my guest today is Joshua Entis.
Hello.
Many of you might know from Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or on whatever platform you are.
I don't tweet, so probably not Twitter.
Me neither. So
we'll get there.
I never understood that, but okay, other topics. Yeah, to quickly introduce yourself, please. It's not an English sentence, that's fine. So
you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, yes, please. That's what I wanted to say. It's not my mother tongue.
I think it's awesome. Like, you know a second language, I don't. So you are instantly a step ahead. Not learning German or Spanish. But yes, quick introduction as to who I am so that we can get on with this Q&A video for you. The name is Joshua Entis, as Kerstin said. I am a vegan animal activist, I guess you could say, if I were to put a title. I also do a lot more, but we'll save that for a different video about myself. But for now, I am from Los Angeles, California, born and raised in America, lived a very standard American lifestyle. I ate probably fast food 2 times a day, maybe. I used to hunt, so I've killed animals myself. I did the whole American go to school and go to college thing. I never know how to explain that if college is the same over here in Europe. But yeah, I went to a 4-year university and got a degree in communication and realized that I wanted to go out and save the world and protect all the beings on this planet. So I guess I put some of my degree into use with what I'm doing now, communication. But it wasn't until 7 years ago that veganism just kind of hit me, and I found that there was so much more to life, that I was actually consuming life. And then about a couple years into being vegan, I decided that there was even more to being vegan than I thought, that I needed to get active. So for the last 3.5 to 4 years, I have been an animal activist. Recently, the last 2.5 years, have been traveling the world. I've done 31 countries in 2.5 years, done tons of activism workshops, got to meet thousands of people and just strengthen my own advocacy, but then get a really good broad perspective on what's going on in the world and what we need to progress in this movement and to do more work and save more lives. Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's a wonderful introduction.
Quick little nutshell. So, yeah.
So it's hard to like.
Oh, the intro.
Sum it up.
Intros are the worst. Thanks for listening to that intro about me. But if you're still sitting here watching, thank you. But now we'll get into the Q&A, which these questions are from, for this specific video, from Kerstin's Instagram.
Yes.
And then I believe we'll be doing a part 2 on my channel in the next coming days. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's do part 1.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for the introduction. And thank you to you guys to sending me those questions. There were so many questions, so we tried to cover as many as possible. Yeah. And let's start with question number 1.
That was a jump in. I just did a...
I kind of thought so.
We're going to dive in. Yeah.
So question number 1, how did the two of you meet? Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the two of us met over Instagram.
Standard.
So I actually went back a couple of days ago and actually looked back because I was wondering.
Just tracked our conversation.
I was just wondering the same, like when was the first time of communicating, and I found that I reacted to one of Josh's stories, and
we should screenshot that.
I actually should screenshot.
We should put that on this video. Maybe it'll be up here or up here, wherever.
If it's too embarrassing, it won't be.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Like me fangirling or something. And yeah, and then from then on, we basically texted back and forth, and yeah, then you were here in Vienna.
Yeah, decided my tour. Yeah, decided to come to Vienna because I knew she was awesome and would plan an amazing week, and it happened. So really cool.
For your birthday as well.
Yeah,
so that was really nice.
Yeah,
and yeah, nice vegan cake and everything. So just a little.
Shout out Kerstin. Yeah. Other Kerstin.
Other Kerstin.
My partner Kerstin.
Yeah, and first time we met in real person was at the train station. So that was nice.
Good times.
Good time.
Social media interactions.
Yeah. Okay, well, question number 2. What was the final thing, information that made you go vegan? Do you want to start?
Yes. The final thing that got me to go vegan was watching the documentary Earthlings. So for about 2 to 3 or 2.5 years, that would be 2 to 3. So yes, 2.5 years of being vegan. I only thought veganism was for me. I thought it was all about health. And then it wasn't really until watching the documentary Earthlings, which is a very powerful movie that takes you very deep into the different industries in which human beings are using and exploiting non-human animals. And watch that kind of when I just got slapped in the face and was like, dude, like, one, you're not vegan, you gotta step your game up. There's so much more to veganism than you thought. It's not about myself, it's a complete set of guiding principles, a philosophy, an ideology, and it's 100% about the animals. And that's when it just kicked my butt into gear and decided to become an activist in that moment. So, Earthlings, if you haven't seen it and you're not vegan, watch it.
Or Dominion would be like the...
Or Dominion is the update. I don't know why I keep doing finger gestures, but
You're
Dominion, Earthlings.
Yeah, my phone just turned off. Yeah, for me it was the final things. Well, veganism or a plant-based diet was nothing like new to me. Like when I met Kevin at 8.5 years ago, he was on a plant-based diet. Well, we both thought it was veganism by that time. But we found out that we didn't know anything about the ethical side, what veganism is. It's about the animals. So 8.5 years back, we switched back to a vegetarian diet because we didn't know anything. And then it took us a very, very long time to actually, understand what it is about. And it actually started out of a health thing as well, because we watched What the Health on Netflix. And because somebody told Kevin it's a very good documentary, we should watch. So we were like, okay, we're vegan for
health, yeah.
Then we watched Cowspiracy, so we're like, okay, vegan for the environment. And then I came across your YouTube channel, Joey Carbstrong, James Aspie, and that basically, was opening a whole new world for me. And I was just shocked. I was shocked that I believed all the lies.
Yeah.
And I thought as a vegetarian I was not hurting animals. Yeah.
At least we're here.
It sounds, but then from that point on, I was all in. I was like, okay, I understand now, and I'm never going back ever again. So, should we pass on to the next?
Question 3.
Yeah. What was something that changed for you after going vegan that you didn't expect?
Poof. I did not expect to tap into this. I know this might sound pretty corny, but I did not expect to tap into a place in my heart that I didn't know I had all this love. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I just felt that when I truly became an ethical vegan and realized what I'd been doing for 24 years of my life and who I was exploiting and using for those 24 years of my life, I just tapped into this unconditional love, and it started to make me love myself more, love my friends and my family more, and I just started to have this like more positive and loving outlook on life, and I did not expect that to happen after watching Earthlings, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's a more, like, what didn't I expect? I didn't expect it to be so hard. Like, it's the other side of this, I didn't expect it to be as mentally exhausting, because like I said before, I had no idea like what we do to animals. And every single day since that one day I watched a video on YouTube, I was researching, and every single day I was finding out new things, and it just like, it depressed me, it frustrated me, and I felt a big devastation as well.
Yeah.
And that I didn't expect. And then on the other side, like, I didn't expect to meet so many like-minded and heart-minded people.
Yeah.
And so much support. I think that's also what I didn't expect. So it's
nice.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Really good question.
Thank you for that one.
Yeah. Question number 4.
I held up 5, but we're on 4.
You're 4.
We're going through them.
What inspired you to bring light and awareness to a topic so dark?
It's like what inspired us to be active.
Yeah.
Earthlings, from the previous question.
YouTube from the previous question. That's also maybe something I didn't expect. Like I didn't expect to be active ever. Like I remember as a vegetarian, I saw vegans standing on the street from 4 Paws, doing some kind of outreach, and I was always like, wow, like those videos, why do they have to show those videos? Like, because it hurt me so much, and I know the other side, so it's And when I saw the YouTube videos and saw that people were doing outreach and changing people's views and heart, then that truly like inspired me. And also I wanted to do something. Like just being vegan didn't do it for me, and because it's also not doing it for the animals, because you're sitting in your own 4 walls and not creating the change you want to see in this world. And
Cool.
Do you have anything to add?
Or one more thing to add to that, just because a specific video, actually, because I was just talking with James Aspie at the camp out when we were there, and because he didn't know this at the time, but I told him that actually what like was the catalyst for me getting active after Earthlings was watching the video that he did where he broke his 365-day vow of silence for the animals on the Australian news channel, and I watched that and I was just like, wow, there's this like kind of there's this man, and in America with this hyper masculinity world, what I've been how I was conditioned was that, oh, a man can't have that much compassion and can't have that much love in their heart and go do something that's selfless. You know, I was conditioned that it's all about selfishness, and I watched that video and that was like, that's what inspired me to do my tour, because he did something big. So
I think I stumbled across the video too. Like, was the second one I watched on YouTube after he explained the dairy industry to
it's a good one.
Someone on the streets, and super basic information. Oh, thank you.
So I just
you deleted it all. No.
I saved the screen from going dark. Now we're on to question 5.
Can you be happy in life while knowing that there is so much cruelty happening right now?
Okay, it's a heavy one.
It's a heavy one.
Go for it.
I'm struggling with that right now, to be honest. It doesn't might always seem that way, but it's definitely something. Like right now, I'm in this mindset. I get up in the morning, I see the cruelty on my phone, and it just makes me so sad that I can't even, or really don't feel like talking to people anymore. Yeah. Because it just, and like I can't understand why people can't see it or don't want to understand if they know what's happening to animals. So, can you be happy? I'm sure you can be happy. I just haven't found the right balance for me yet to feel this happiness. But I have to go back to last week when we were at the swings, at the intro of this video. That truly was a moment for me where I felt true happiness again, and it has been the only moment in a very long time. So
well, I think you're right, and it's a very powerful question. I think it's something that all activists should be self-aware about, to ask themselves how they're feeling, check in with themselves, because excuse me, I went through the last couple years of my life were very positive but also very dark. I think it was just a massive swing of emotions, from just going into slaughterhouse after slaughterhouse, after vegan potluck, after bungee jumping, after, like, it was just such this wild concoction of positive and negative emotions. And what I found now, after experiencing burnout a few times and seeing such a negative side of it, going into my own cocoon and taking the last like 4 months or 5 months really off because I needed it for myself, is that I do think that we can be happy, but I think it's going to take a lot of mental strength and resiliency and self-awareness to create a space for yourself where you can be a realist and understand what's actually going on in this world and understand the severity of what's going on, but also be an optimist in the sense of understanding that we're in this for the long run, that it may or may not happen in our lifetime, but we still gotta fight for that daily. But in order to do that for the long run, we have to have balance. You said that key word, and that's just what I'm working on now. And I found that I have a lot more happiness now if I just focus on balance and focusing on myself, which I'm sure we'll get into more.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 6. How to take care of yourself when the animal suffering gets too much to handle.
Nice follow-up question.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start on this since I
yeah.
give a workshop on sustainable activism, but I need to practice more of what I preach as well. So how do you take care of yourself when the suffering gets tough, when it gets hard, when it gets too much to handle, too much to bear? I think the key word is self-awareness again. It's just being able, and this is going to come in time, this self-awareness, being able to understand when you yourself need that mental, physical, and emotional break, and going inward and saying, I am going to allow myself to have that time. So I think it's the advice that I have it was, how do you take care of yourself? So self-awareness, understand, and then you have to find whatever it is that fills you up, that makes you happy, that makes you smile, that makes you feel rested. If it's Netflix and hanging out with the companion animal at home, do that. If it's walks on the beach, do that. If it's reading, if it's listening to music, if it's dancing around the house naked, do that. Every once in a while I'm guilty of that, but another video, another time. I have to. So much more information. This is an R-rated YouTube video now? No, I have to. Sometimes this is how I cope with talking about some of the sad or negative parts about activism, or for myself, is that we have to do things that make us smile and that make us laugh and that make us think about good times. So how to take care of yourself, just honor when you actually need to take a break and do those things that help you find that balance. Write down those things, whatever it is that makes you happy, write that stuff down and start checking those things off, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, if it's meditation, singing, walking, running, dancing, writing, reading, I think I already said, drinking tea, going on swings in Vienna, like whatever that is, just do it. And I know it's easier said than done, but this is a whole nother video that we can definitely make and talk about later, but that's my insight now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say a few words to that, because I saw a video of the podcast of Joanne MacArthur and Earthling Ed, and she was recommending the book Aftershock. I don't know who it is from.
It's from Patrice Jones. I'm reading it now.
Really? Yeah. I ordered it. So I ordered it because this book is about, as far as I understood, like helping activists to cope with the whole
secondary trauma, exposure to trauma, and I'm 14 pages in.
Really? And how do you like it?
It's great.
Okay, I still have to wait 14 days to get mine. So.
Yeah, it's really good. Aftershock, Patrice Jones.
Okay, we'll link it down in the description. Question number 7. How do you stay so positive while witnessing so much sadness?
They all these questions kind of go.
Yeah, they kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, just by going to a lot of slaughterhouses, bearing witness, with the Animal Safe movement, doing vigils and, doing investigations, or just exposing yourself to all of this content online, which is still exposing yourself to trauma. The way I stay positive is kind of just going back to trying to find balance in your life, trying to have the people in your life that lift you up, do the things in life that lift you up. It's super hard because in the beginning I felt like I had to go. Like I just could not stop, else I wasn't doing justice for the animals. And then I realized that the animals would want us taking care of ourselves so that we can be in it for the long run with them. And I think you just have to really work on, I'm gonna say it again, self-awareness. It's gonna be the key of my talks on self-care, is when you know more about yourself and you can tap into what's going on the inside, you can allow yourself to take those breaks, to have that positive thought, to get that shoulder to cry on, to, if you're at a vigil and having a tough time, to take a walk around the block and to not feel like you need to be in the face of injustice every second of every day. So I just think honor yourself and what your mind, body, and soul needs.
Yeah. I think, I want to quickly say something about that too. Because the question again, how do you stay positive while witnessing so much sadness? I think what I experienced for me is like to let it out. Like for me it was screaming into a pillow or crying when I just crying, I guess, because we live in a society, in a world where crying is seen as a kind of a weakness. So, and I just started to not care anymore. I just cry on the bus or the metro, I don't care. Like if I feel sad, I just let my body react to it, and then
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's whatever your coping mechanism is.
Yeah. And then I try to get something positive out of it, like draw something or write something down, or post on Instagram to let others know what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. Because yeah, then it can be something positive for others as well to see, okay, you're not the only one going through this. So.
And actually what I should have said, not what I should have said, because what I said was valid. What I want to add is, because what I do and what I've been doing recently is, instead of trying to think of all the animals that are being driven into the slaughterhouse and how sad and negative that is, as it is, I'm not trying to undermine that, it's very tragic and it hits me and it gets me emotional, but the way I stay positive in those situations is I focus on the animals that we are there to comfort and to give love, the animals that we are saving, the future generations of non-human animals that won't be bred into existence, enslaved, tortured, and killed because of what this movement is doing right now, of my involvement and my contribution to it. So I just try to look at the positive outcomes of what we are doing, like the, what do they call it, the groundwork?
Are you asking me? English?
The foundation that I am laying, you know, so I try to be optimistic and look into the future for that.
Yeah. Question number 8. What do you think about eating animal products out of the trash as a vegan? Do you think that is vegan?
You know my quick answer?
Yeah.
I don't think it's vegan because you are consuming the flesh and or secretions of an animal. I understand, I think this term is called freegan. They call it a freegan, people who eat animal products out of the trash because it's free. I guess the argument is that, you know, no products going to waste, et cetera, et cetera. And once again, if that's what you do, I'm not trying to reprimand you and say you're wrong. I'm just giving my honest feedback on that. I just think that it's kind of like when you are wearing fake fur out in public. Like, my stance on that is that, like, we're still promoting the idea that wearing fur is acceptable and normal and okay, because for 99.9% of the people walking by, they don't know that that's not actual fur. They don't know that you're vegan, whatnot. The same thing, if you're eating flesh out of a trash can and you're eating it at a park somewhere and someone sees that, they're seeing you eating animal products, the flesh of animals, and in their mind it's like, that's normal and that's okay, so I can continue doing that. So I think that we just have to be consistent to the T, that we just are not putting that into our body. We're not putting those individuals into our body. And then from a health standpoint, but I won't go into that, but I just think it's about the message that we're promoting, and we have to be consistent with that and do that across the board.
Also, I think it's, I mean, my personal opinion is, like, it's disgusting. It's breast milk for our calves.
Yeah.
And it's not for us, and it's full of feces, blood.
Yeah.
And pus, so it's...
I guess the argument which I have listened to is that it's in the trash, it's going to go to waste anyway, and like it's still gross, it's disgusting, but I really touch upon that it's the slippery slope of, okay, so you're eating flesh out of a trash can, who's to say you're on a vacation and you don't check to see if there's eggs in bread because you've eaten eggs out of a dumpster. So I think we have to just be really, like, laser focused on the message that we're promoting as animal activists and as vegans.
9.
Oh, sorry. 9, I was doing 10. No, we're on 9.
9. You're on 9.
Thanks for seeing all my hand.
Do you avoid or buy vegan food from non-vegan companies like McDonald's?
You can start.
I boycott McDonald's just because I think it's a terrible place. Out of many, many reasons, but I just don't want to go in there, and I just don't want to go in there and see people eat animals. That's, I think, one of the most important things for me. I don't want to spend my money and give my hard-earned money to a company that's doing this to animals and promoting veganism in a wrong way, because they're promoting it as a diet and as an option. I think it's good on on the other side. I think it's good that it's there, because if there's people maybe who eat animals, they can still have the option to choose the vegan burger. Yeah, so I personally don't like it at all. I wouldn't go there or eat the burger. I think there's so many other great all vegan places there. I think we should promote those places. And yeah.
I mean, I'll just add a little bit on there, and because this could be a whole nother series of videos talking about this, as it is a very hot topic in this movement. And I think personally, what I choose to do with my money, my buying power as a vegan, as an animal activist, is put my money into intentional companies that are ethical, and when I can, as far as humanly possible, I support vegan businesses. Some people might say, hey, but you go to a grocery store and you buy your vegan products there, and I go, you know, right now I need a grocery store. Right now I don't need a McDonald's. And I will also say that I am guilty. Like, I had the McVegan when they tested it out at the Finland McDonald's something years ago, and I felt awful about being in there. And I think that, yeah, like you said, a vegan option anywhere is going to be a positive, because it is showing that this is out there, that there's a market, but then you gotta kind of look into it. If they're still not serving it with, it's not a vegan burger. It's like you have to ask for it without cheese and without mayo and et cetera, et cetera.
I think they won't go vegan.
Yeah, I mean, the simplest thing for me is that I put my money into businesses that I think should be supported and growing. So for example, here in Vienna, there's a company called Swing Kitchen here. Shout out to Swing Kitchen. I'm gonna send this to you now.
I want to send it now.
Me too. But so Swing Kitchen, they now have, I think, 5 locations here in Austria, 2 now in Berlin.
I think there's one in Switzerland too.
Cool, 1 in Switzerland. Let's put our money into these businesses so that they can spread their restaurants and grow to be as big as McDonald's, so we can have these popping up in every single city. Ones that are ethical, ones that do care about the environment, the animals. Our health would be a little healthier than eating animal flesh. That's my statement on that.
I think the other thing is we both took the Liberation Pledge, so we try to go to only vegan places as far as possible. So yeah,
cool.
That's Liberation Pledge.
Yeah, is that a question here?
No.
Oh, that's in my video.
Yeah.
You have to wait, because we're doing a part 2 video, everyone. We can't put a card here yet, but in about 3 to 5 days' time, you'll see part 2, which will get into the Liberation Pledge. Keep you in suspense. It's a fork.
Yeah, it's a symbol. So just, yeah.
Question number
10.
Question number 10. Woo!
What do you do with leather and wool stuff after going vegan? Is it okay to wear it out?
Okay. You? Me?
I could start.
Yeah.
That was actually something when I went vegan I never thought about. And then I looked at my Doc Marten boots that I had. And I asked myself the question, what do I want to do with them? And I just couldn't look at them at boots anymore. I looked at those boots like the skin of baby and children, animals. And I just couldn't wear them anymore. I remember I kept them for a year because I couldn't decide what to do with them. It felt wrong to just throw them away. But they were also still very good boots, like, you know, they didn't have any holes or whatever. So so I kept them for a year, and then I kind of like to say goodbye to them because I never wore them again, and then I donated them. So yeah. Whatever I think feels right. For me, it just didn't feel right anymore to wear animals. And I was an activist, or still am an activist. So wearing this, like you said before with the fur, it's promoting those products, which are not products, but individuals, and just doesn't feel right to me anymore. And I wanted to get rid of them. Yeah.
I think it's really good. I touched upon a lot of that in a video I made. And I think just to add on to that, if you're an activist, if you are out there on the streets, if you are interacting with non-vegans and promoting veganism as an ethical lifestyle, you should not be wearing any animal products, because it's going to give people the out of saying, ooh, but you're wearing leather shoes, or oh, but you're wearing wool. Let's not give people this ammunition to rebuttal us vegans on why we're out there fighting for the animals. Now, if you have something at home that your grandma knitted for you and it stays in your home, then I would agree with you. Keep it as long as you can until you start actually seeing it as the product that it actually is, like the skin or fur of an animal. And that's what happened with me. I kept something as long as possible until I realized I just can't be in it anymore. I can't have it around me. I needed a vegan household, and I donated everything or gave them to friends so that they wouldn't contribute to a new supply.
Yeah. I mean, it can also happen to, you know, when you wear vegan leather made from banana peels or apple peels or whatever that looks like leather, or cork, for example. And people will say like, oh, but this is leather. I think it's important to educate them that there is actually, it can look like something that's made from animals or has been made from animals, but it doesn't have to be from animals anymore. So I think that's also really great that there's vegan leather out there made from all kinds of different plants. Yeah, so.
Nice.
Yeah. Question number 11.
Nice.
11. Make a 10 and make a 1. How do you react to vegan jokes from friends and family?
Got my quick answer to that. Don't take Scheiße. It's S-H-I-T in German. No, it's tough in the beginning when people go vegan and they get this sort of feedback from their family. What I do, or what I did in the past, is I just like took a firm stance. And you know what? Like, I know that you're just trying to be funny. You're not trying to really be malicious about the jokes that you're putting on me right now, but it hurts me because the animals are who I'm fighting for and fighting with on a daily basis. And I just don't understand why you think it's funny to make fun of someone who's standing up for animals. And that kind of just put them in their place. I say, be honest, be open, have a conversation with your friends and family, and just tell them how it makes you feel.
Yeah. I guess there's...
Did I nail it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, like you said, I would also like drown the joke. I basically, that happened to me before where somebody was making fun of pigeons. And what I did, I was just like, okay, it is not funny that pigeons getting hurt. They only try to survive as well. What I did, or what it did to me, is I went home, I watched a 2-hour documentary on pigeons, and I got out of this even stronger, and the next day I had all the arguments.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I think whatever your energy level, if you want to combat those and deal with those arguments, I don't anymore. I don't want to create any space for that. My time is valuable now, so I just tell people how I feel.
Yeah. Question number 12. What is your attitude towards non-vegans? Do you hate them?
Not at all. I do not hate non-vegans. I have a few non-vegan friends, and it is tough sometimes spending time with them, but I do get a lot of support from those non-vegan friends, and slowly working on them. If you're watching this, Sticky and Eric, hey. In time, I know that for sure, but I don't like to harbor any hate for anyone. It just doesn't do me well. Yes, there's times when I'm standing in front of a slaughterhouse and a truck driver throws bacon, you know, pig flesh at us on the floor, and it's tough. I have some hate for non-vegans at that time, but I just think back to the fact when like I wasn't vegan and I used to kill animals myself when I hunted and eat animals myself, so that gives me some perspective.
I think hate is a strong word, and hate is what got us here in this situation. Maybe not intentional, because people think it's necessary and okay to kill animals, but it's actually an act of hate and violence. Yeah. So I get frustrated too, but I get frustrated, or I would say I hate the norms that society put up, thinking it's okay to exploit and murder animals. I think that's what I hate, and that's what also frustrates me, and that I see that so many people are still so manipulated, so conditioned. That's more, I would say it's, yeah. All right, question number 13. Why the hell are there so many non-active vegans? I don't know.
Yeah, I think this question could be taken from so many angles. I just feel that it's, one, we've just been conditioned to think veganism is about environment and health, as both of us went vegan for health. And so I think there's a lot of barriers to break down to show people that veganism is more than just that it's actually about individuals' lives, living, breathing beings. And I also think that we've gotten very comfortable as a species when dealing with injustice, and especially since I think this movement might be the only movement where the ones who are being oppressed are not actually the ones at the center of the movement having the loudest voice. Like, to me, they are the loudest, and we can hear them as clearly and as loudly as possible. but I just think that we don't truly understand the severity of what's going on. So it's until you get that kick in the butt, that watching Earthlings, that YouTube video, that someone telling you how it is, that's gonna drive your activism. I think accessibility as well. I think, yes, it's easy to do activism online, but we also want community and we want to feel part of a bigger group, a bigger movement. So I think as the movement grows, more communities will pop up and people will have this sort of accessibility. It's kind of like when we get more vegan options, a lot of those non-vegans, but there's nothing around. They won't have those excuses anymore. So the more we grow as a movement, the more accessible it'll be for people to actually get out there. And we just need a kick in the butt.
Yeah. And we need to promote activism more,
yes.
Because I think a lot of people don't know that there's organizations where they live, that there's actions where they live, there's demos. So yeah, use your social media platform to promote that and inspire and motivate others to also get active with you. That's, yeah. It's always good to get to know new people, and I think it's very, very important to have a very strong support system. And yeah,
nice.
We're all in this together. So yeah.
2 more questions.
2 more questions. Number 14. Will we get? Oh wait, 13?
Come on.
Sorry. I was like,
don't worry, everyone. I know you were worried about that one.
Will we get total animal liberation? There are so many blind humans in this world.
So I might add to this question, like, will we get total animal liberation in our lifetime, like our generation, in the future? Like, I think we'd have to, once again, make another video about this, but what does total animal liberation actually look like? And I use the example, and it also helps me in taking care of myself and having realistic expectations of myself as an activist. So I look at it as like total animal liberation is where no animals are being used or exploited or tested on, and they have sort of legal personhood, the right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, just like we do. And I look at it as that thing, that total animal liberation, whatever that looks like, is a fully built house. And maybe the generation before us, you know, laid the foundation. Maybe our generation is building the first floor and a little bit of the stairs. And then maybe when we're not here anymore, the next generation is building the second floor. And then maybe the next generation builds the roof. And do I think we'll see it in our lifetime? No. Do I think we will see us get to a place where no more animals are being used and exploited? I don't know, to be honest. That's my, like, I'd like to say yes. I fight for that every single day. I just don't know because I don't know. I know that's probably not what you want, but that's just me being honest.
I mean, I thought about that yesterday and it just made me cry.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I think it's also like how I feel that kind of affects how I see where this is going, where this movement is going, where our society is going. But yeah, yesterday it just really, I was like, I don't know if we get there. This might be a very pessimistic view, but yeah. Yeah,
but I don't want, like, because I've had this conversation before, I don't want people to be really down and pessimistic on these answers. I think these answers are very honest, and I think just understanding that helps me fight even harder, because for me it's not this unrealistic expectation of animal liberation is happening tomorrow, because then when we don't come close to it tomorrow, it brings me down even more. I used to fight for, like, we're gonna get it tomorrow, it's gonna be next year, it's gonna be next year. Like, we have to look at the severity of what's actually going on and how massive this injustice is and how massive these industries are. And I just think that we need to game plan and strategize and have like a business plan for how we're gonna tackle this. That's why I just think in time it's gonna come, but don't let that bring you down. Think like, hey, how can I fight as hard as I can while I'm here on this planet to have the greatest impact and to reach as many people as possible, and just do your part. And I think if you can do your part and continue to challenge yourself and push yourself to the limits, to the next level, but also have that balance, then I think that's all we can do.
Yeah. I just realized question number 15. I already had that question. So I'm gonna make my own question.
Cool.
How do you feel right now?
How do I feel right now? Just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
Wow, that's probably the toughest question ever. No, that's a good one.
I think it's important to ask.
I
think it's important.
Yeah, I feel good right now. I feel, for me, this might not mean something to you or you, but I was went pretty hard on social media for 2 years with YouTube and Instagram, and it was my life. And then got to a point when I burnt out twice and mentally and physically and emotionally couldn't do social media anymore. And then that brought me even more down because I felt like I was just failing the animals and failing myself. And then I got put into this role of like, oh, like I have to be this influencer now and continue to produce at this quality and this quantity. And it was just so much madness in my head, plus dealing with all the suffering. I know this was a very heavy answer right now, but the reason why I feel good right now is because it's been 5.5 months since I sat in front of the camera and made a YouTube video, and I feel pretty good doing this. So I'm really happy that we got to do this, because we are going to be making part 2 right after this for my channel as well. And yeah, I feel good. I'm feeling a little bit rested. I'm feeling like I'm finally coming back into activism and posting on social media. And I still need to do a little bit more self-care. I really need to take better care of myself. So that's coming. But I would say overall, I'm like at a 65–70%, which is freaking good. I was like at a 10% a couple months ago, so feeling pretty good. Nice. How do you feel?
Yeah, I was very down yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling better now because just spending time with you makes me happy. So you have to do that more often.
Yeah, we should.
What do you do tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. Meetings, social media, content creation, but we'll find time.
Swing.
Yeah.
Sometime. Swing kitchen and swing. So. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better now. It's like a roller coaster right now. Like for me, it's a lot of things changed for me over the past month. It could be much better, but it could also be much worse. So I think
But self-awareness, the fact that you just said it could be much better, is like, all right, let's just take that statement and how do we make it better? And just, you know, do more of the swing, do more of the things that lift you up. And life is a roller coaster.
It is.
Love is a highway.
I'm not gonna sing that. Yeah, it's basically it for my Q&A. Yay!
We did it. Sems just came, the little puppo here.
I'm gonna show her real quick. Here's Sems for everybody who doesn't know her yet.
Hi, Sems. Yeah, thank you for watching this video.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for wanting to do this little project.
Thank you for coming over.
Of course. Sems is here. And yeah, if you have any questions, let her know since this is her video. Leave them down in the comments. If you have any other questions that you want her or myself to answer, put those in the comments as well, because we can keep making video on video on video. Other than that, stay tuned. In the next couple days, I'll be posting the second part 2 of this Q&A, because we have a whole nother 15 questions that you asked on social media to do on my channel. But watch this one, share this one. Hope it provided some value for you. And that's my closing statement. Look at you.
Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say then. Jump over to his video the next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Peace.
See you in the next video.